Aiden, terrific performance from you today. You know, you did exactly what they asked you to do. Your QB ratings through the roof. Just take us through the process, the preparation this week, and coming back from the injury.
Yeah, I think first and foremost, I just want to thank my teammates, coaches for believing in me this season, giving me this opportunity, obviously from AP and Champ. You know, today was obviously it's hard. You want to be in the playoffs and you want to play more football, but I thought we came out and you know, brought intensity from the first quarter, and defense helped us out. Guys on offense made plays, so it was a fun game. It was fun to be a part of. But yeah, just super proud of our guys for finishing strong.
What do you think about moving forward? I mean, they gave you the ball when AP took over. You were the guy for him. Talk about him, and then now moving forward for yourself. What are your thoughts like standing here right now?
Yeah, obviously it's been a whirlwind last few weeks. Rookie season is hard. It's long, and obviously for everything that happened was a little crazy. But like I said, just super appreciative of the opportunity to play. It's not an opportunity that a lot of guys get, and so tried to make the most of it. But felt the support from AP and the rest of my teammates throughout. And, we'll see what happens in the future. It's outside of my control. But again, just more so reflecting on the season. Just proud of our guys.
Aiden, you just mentioned that we'll see about the future. Can you take us through your mind in terms of the approach to this particular game to give one final lasting impression to the season? And what was your approach just to, make a name for yourself one final time before the draft pick? Because obviously the draft, there's a lot of speculation on who might be drafted, and it could be quarterback.
Yeah, obviously that's all outside of my control, and so when like a game like this, that it's the last time as a team. I think it's not hard to get up for a game like that and be ready for a game because you want to end on a good note. You want to make a statement to finish the season, and so like I said before, I thought our guys did that. I thought we had a good week of practice, and I think truly this week we enjoyed being around each other, and that was really fun to be a part of.
Aiden, I know a lot of the players have been vocal in their support of Antonio. I'm just wondering about Champ Kelly. He helped in the process of drafting you. Have the players at all talked about retaining him as well, along with AP?
Yeah, obviously Champ is a little more behind the scenes, but I think it's the same thing. I think guys love Champ. Champ is an awesome guy. He's super easy to talk to. I connected with him really since I first got here, and he's even sent me encouraging messages throughout the season. And so Champ's been huge for my development. Someone I really look up to, whose faith is really strong. And so him and his family are awesome. And so I think likewise with AP is the same with Champ.
Aiden, Antonio was very emotional after the game, and rightfully so. Take us inside the locker room, those moments with him and the team and the celebratory atmosphere. You guys won this for him. Yeah, I think, AP shows his emotions. I think he's not he's not going to hide what he's feeling, and so we appreciate that from him. He's honest, he's open, he's vulnerable with us, and so you can get behind somebody like that. And so for him, he's been through so much. Is for him to take this role and to lead us the way he has been awesome, and we've been in basically every game that he's coached, and so again, just can't thank him enough for what he's done for me and for our team.
Where's my guy?
AP, over here to the left.
There you go.
AP, since taking over as interim, you've preached toughness, physicality, and violence. How proud are you how happy were you with that display today in your final showing as interim?
Yeah, that's what we talked about. I've been preaching since day one. Really bought into it the last week of the season when, people are making business decisions if they want to play football for 60 minutes. I think our guys took pride on it, pride into it. Really proud of our guys that last drive offensively, what they were able to do, and then defensively to finish the game. And to be honest, I get the pretty stuff and throwing the ball around, but at the end of the day, football is meant to be physical and violent and hitting one another, and that's what we want to be.
And we've kind of talked about it since you've taken over, right? You've had the unwavering support of the locker room, the fan base. They're sending down AP chants while the game is still going on. You guys have a special moment at the end of the game. Considering this is your childhood fan base, I'm just kind of wondering, how has it felt to have that unwavering support from the fan base?
Good. I got some time now to reflect on that. Now the season's over with. We'll handle our exit physicals and interviews here over the next couple of days, and obviously I got some other stuff to handle, and then have a chance to reflect over these last 9 to 10 weeks, which has been very humbling and honored for me.
AP, Obviously, you've been able to emotionally motivate your players in a way that hasn't been done recently with the franchise. I'm wondering, how would you assess the X's and O's strategy standpoint in terms of making your case to Mark Davis as a permanent coach?
Well, I think it's been on full display. I think our style of play, both offensively and defensively, has changed. I think we rushed for over 100 yards again. I don't know how many times that's been over the last 9, but I know it's been quite a few. You see the shots. I mean, we'll get into all the X and O stuff. I get it. Player, coach, rah-rah guy, but I didn't get to where I'm at by not knowing football.
AP, you're only the third team since 2000 to have 2 games with 0 penalties, the 0-1 Jets and 13 Patriots. I'm just curious, you came in preaching discipline and these guys bought into what you were selling. Can you talk about your pride in yet another performance with 0 penalties?
Yeah, I'm hoping, and we'll get the final stats here in a second, that we finished number 1 as far as the least penalized team in the National Football League. And I'm sure that's a Raider record.
Tim Woods, sports fan, Rob. Congratulations on the W to end the season. You had a lot of support out there from the fans, and just wanted to know, just like Curious George, what did Mark Davis say to you before the game? We saw you guys have a brief moment, and just curious if you can say anything about what he said to you.
Just win, baby. That was it.
Okay. There's been so much speculation about your future here and whether or not you'll be the permanent head coach. I'm just curious about Champ Kelly, your thoughts about him staying, also having his interim tag taken off. And what is your relationship with him, and how has it grown in the 9 weeks that you've been the head coach?
Yeah, obviously, we've gotten a lot closer over the last 9 to 10 weeks talking, putting our thoughts together, trying to get the best roster and the best product we can on the field. My thoughts on Champ, I think he's done a hell of a job. Obviously, he's well respected throughout the league. He's done it. He's been there. He's been on, in winning organizations. And you just got to look at what we've done over the last 9, 10 weeks, and I'll let everybody else kind of judge that. But, Champ is a good man, a good person. Obviously, you can see our players and our staff respects him, what they've done from a personal standpoint as well. I mean, look at our rookies that's really shown up. He's a part of that process as well. So I think he's put himself in a good position.
AP, you guys, the last 9 weeks have built a foundation that's helped turn around this season. But if you are retained, how do you feel like you can maybe build on that moving forward to, maybe make the playoffs and continue to improve and push the franchise forward?
Yeah, I mean, you just keep growing. I mean, you talk about culture, you talk about foundation, you talk about your DNA, you talk about what you wanted to look like, your structure, your coaches, your players, having your identity. To me, our players and our coaches will be a reflection of me. And that'll go forward as we move into this bad boy. But there's a lot of things that I can still grow from. This was a great experience, a great kickstart. I think we do have a solid foundation that we've built so far, but there's more to go. And, no excuse, but it is difficult to do in the middle of the season. And to get guys to buy in and really believe that that's how you're going to win and that's the way to win. When you have time to, presentations, put that in OTAs, mini camps, training camp, get that bonding, that chemistry together, I think it'll be a pretty thing to watch.
AP, another excellent performance by Aiden, protecting the football, no interceptions, not even the same quarterback from when you started and he took over. I'm just curious about his maturation and the pride you feel and how he hasn't cost you.
Yeah, I thought tonight was really telling. He battled some injuries. You saw him leave, go in the locker room. I looked at him, wasn't quite sure if he was going to battle through it, and I've said it before, he's a mentally tough individual, very mature. He's growing in front of our eyes, full display. 10 starts this year, great opportunity for him to be evaluated going forward. And I think more and more he's earned the trust of his peers and his coaches. The kid just drove us 99 yards down the field and made some hell of a plays throwing the football. That was impressive. And he didn't waver. You talk about situational football, clocking it. I mean, very calm, very poised. I think everything that we've worked on in practice was on full display tonight, and I'm very proud of him.
Yeah, AP, how much fun have you had the last 2 months?
Man, it's been fun. Like I told the guys, I'm a little hoarse. I hit the cigar in there, it got me a little choked up. But I was having fun as a linebacker coach. That was cool, right? But it's really cool being the head coach of the Las Vegas Raiders. It's really cool being in front of a room of men who buy in and believe what you're telling them, what you're saying, how to do things maybe differently than everybody expects you to do it, maybe not the norm. But I love football, man. I said it before. It was my first love. Football never cheat on me. It don't talk back to me. It's always there. And that's something I appreciate about it, because when you can walk away from it, it always tugs you right back. And to be with the organization and the men and the staff and the people that I work with every day and watch them now smile and have that kind of enthusiasm about going to work every day. And just like, we talked about in the pressers, you guys are smiling. Hell, you guys are cracking jokes with me now. You guys look like you're having fun too. That's good. I mean, don't take life so serious, man. It's okay. It's going to be tomorrow.
We'll do two more. We'll go Case and then Allen.
Hey, AP, I know you said you'll have time to reflect on what this whole thing meant to you, but, at the end there when you had that moment and the crowd was chanting AP, it seemed like you were playing to him a little bit. It seemed like you were really enjoying that. What's going through your mind? What did that moment mean to you?
Well, if you've kind of watched me every game after the game, me and Bob, we get our track shoes on and we sprint to the head coach and we sprint out because I want to dap up all our players. But I thought I needed to take a minute and a moment to address the fans. I think they've been very supportive since I've taken over as interim head coach. They were loud each and every home game. It wasn't a 60-40 home game. It was a Raider crowd in there today. It was a group that was loud on third downs, that was getting after it, and just show them appreciation. At the end of the day, when I was a player, I loved to hear that noise from the crowd. And to walk out and see the black hole and those guys just getting after it, I just wanted to love them up. Because, listen, what if I'm not here next year? I didn't want to let that go by.
AP, just you had mentioned Aiden's growth since his start with you. Can you just self-assess your own growth from day one to today?
Yeah, patience, a little bit more poise, getting ahead of the game. It is different when you're the head coach, than just being a linebacker coach or defensive guy. You got to figure out where your special teams coordinator, where your special teams guys at, where your kickers, where your O-line at. Everything. Clock management, obviously, situational football, end of half, end of game, timeout usage, red flag, challenging stuff. I mean, it's been a learning experience. I don't know and how anybody goes into this saying that they're ready for it. You need live reps. You can mimic everything in practice, but there's nothing like the live reps and going through those situations. You can prep them, you can watch them, but when that clock's ticking, it goes a little bit faster. But for me, I think the process of working with our staff, our analytical people, and getting better each and every game has been my goal, and that will continue to be my goal as I'm in the seat.
One more, Paul.
Antonio, beyond coming off the field and hearing the crowd chanting your initials, AP, 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 as you're coming off the field, you walk in that locker room, you see Jim Plunkett, you see Charles Woodson, Richard Seymour, Ted Hendricks, Jim Otto, Mike Haynes. They're all in there advocating on your behalf. What does that feel like to know that you got those types of people kind of campaigning for you, so to speak, to keep the job?
Yeah, one thing about, Mr. Davis, and it started with Al Davis, obviously, is the alumni and the players and having them around. And you've seen it since I've been here. How many games they've been here? 2, 3, loads of them, buses of them at our games and on our sideline. And I felt, and we talked about it, that once we won this game, that we wanted them to celebrate with us. Charles Woodson was at our practice a few weeks ago, and he talked about, man, how cool it was watching our guys smoke a cigar and be in that locker room and having that moment. He said, man, I want to be a part of that. And when he said that, it registered to me and Max and some other guys, and we said, listen, we want to make sure that they're a part of this as well, because when AP's gone, they'll be here. When Max is gone, he'll be a part of that group as well. And there's nothing like doing that with past legends, obviously Gold Jackets, Hall of Famers, the best of the best, rings, winners. They know what it's like. And for them to intermingle with our guys post-game, I mean, you can't take that for granted, man. That's special, and that's what this organization is about.
Thank you, Coach. Thanks, everyone.
Appreciate it. Happy New Year.